All right, in three, two, one. Hi, everybody. Welcome in again. And I always say it's a very special edition of YSN Coach's Corner with Dan Yeagley and the South Range Raiders. This one might take the cake, Coach.
I know.
It's it's uh, it's presumably. I'm going to put that in
Okay.
context. Presumably the last one. The last one with you as the head coach of the South Range Raiders. Let's put it that way.
There we go.
Um,
That's a good one.
28 years.
Mm.
28 years you've been the lead pirate on the ship, the captain, the governor. I mean, the man in charge. Um, and then it comes to an end. But to me, as we've talked about many times off the air, it couldn't have gone. You couldn't have written a better script
Right.
for going out. But in typical Dan Yeagley fashion, that has absolutely nothing to do with why you're hanging it up. Um, can you take us through the thought process and one that took some time?
Oh, it did. I mean, Kelly and I talked about it. I mean, we talked, and nothing was really even set in stone at that point. I mean, we just said, you know, been doing it a long time. I mean, 39 total years,
Mm-hmm.
28 as a head coach, and been doing it a long time. You always have goals. You always set goals. You set goals for YSN,
Mm-hmm.
and always trying to achieve those goals. And obviously, one of the goals was always to win a state title.
Maybe.
Yeah, and there's still some other goals that I haven't accomplished yet. But sometimes it comes to it just becomes a time.
Mm-hmm.
You get to that point where, um, I told the coaches this. I said the game's getting faster and faster. I mean, it really is, and it's harder and harder to coach, uh, especially at my age because I'm still old school. I believe in old school. I believe in doing some of those things, and there's some changes that need to be made. When I talk to my assistant coaches, I told them there's some things that need changed. And I even gave them some hints. There's some things that need change, things that need that could be done better. But I just haven't done that just because of uh, it's our comfort zone, and the coaches were comfortable, the kids were comfortable, I was comfortable doing that, and there's just some things, and I said, you know what, it's just time, and I talked to Kelly and I talked, and I told a couple people that I would tell them first. A couple of my assistants, like Coach Allegretto, because he's been with me forever, all 28 years, and and then I got all the coaches together and told them. I said I'd like to have a little meeting, and we talked, and I told them, and they were sort of shocked because the weekend before we were in Columbus together, and and that was something that I was. I sat back and watched a lot. I mean, we went to listen speakers, and I had to speak, and the coaches helped me with my presentation, and Coach Rock and you know, Coach Mancuso, those guys helped me with the presentation because they're tech savvy, more tech savvy than I am, and so that went on, and I sat back and I watched them. I watched the interaction between the coaches, and you know what? They were having fun. They were talking football. They were talking about life. They were talking about a lot of different things. And I just sat back and said, you know what? The program's in good shape, really is. And and that helped with my decision to say, you know what? It's just time. That's all.
This is going to be tough. I mean, this is going to be a. I mean, I can tell you that I've looked forward to these for 6 years, and this was the one that I just kept putting off and kept putting off and kept putting off and kept putting off, and because I don't want to, I don't want to believe it.
Yeah, I mean that when you do something for so long and you sit back and like I said, the coaches were having a good time together. I mean, and the program is in good shape. I made sure the schedule was set. I made sure that all the little things were in line because that's what needs to be done. We have some good classes coming up, very talented classes,
Mhm.
and like I said, if everything goes hopefully they can keep the staff together. If they can keep the staff together, it'll be a good transition for the kids, and that's the most important thing. You always got to think about the kids. Well, we talked about that when we
Yeah.
started started all this, and if it's what's best for the kids. And once the kids are comfortable, then they're going to continue practicing. They're going to continue playing, and it's going to be going in the right direction. And like I said, South Range allowed me to hire the staff, and the staff is unbelievable. Had to say no to some people, had to say yes, coax them in a little bit more, and you know, uh, some new changes this year. Picking up Levi Taylor and picking up Tony Foster on staff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and then Coach Mancuso during the playoffs. All those little pieces, those guys just coming in, were huge pieces, and like I said, Uh, they fit right in and they understood. Well, they played or been around the program before, and welcomed Tony back and Nico back, and Levi came back, was one of a player, and when he was injured he was coaching then also. And
Mm-hmm.
little things like that. So everything fell in line. And like I said, I got an all-star staff, and I can't speak highly enough of them, and I did it all year because they are pretty awesome. And the kids listened to them. The kids were coachable, and like I said, the program's going in the right direction. And this last year wasn't a peak. I mean, we can continue being at that level, and I really think we can continue. They can continue being at that level, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to watching and seeing what's next for South Range.
There's a lot of people that thought, okay, well, he steps down as head coach. He might be able to step in as somebody that's still able to help out on the staff. And you took it, obviously in talking with Kelly and talking with your family, you said, no, that if I'm not going to be coach, I'm going to step away, not to step on anybody else's toes. Why was
Right.
that important to you?
It's just time. I mean, it's time for them whoever becomes in charge. It's gonna be time for them to make it their program.
Mhm.
I don't want it to be. We never talked about being my program because it's not my
Mhm.
program. I want it to be. I want South Range to continue. And like I said, there's some things that need changed, and some things that I thought that need addressed. And whoever gets it, I'm going to sit down with them and we'll talk a little bit about it. Even if they want to change it, fine. If they don't, but things I see coming up that worry me a little bit. And also, there's 28 years of stats and everything else that has to be passed on to the next person too, to continue the program and the little stuff, the behind the scenes stuff. And I just, it's time for them to keep it going, and I want to spend time with Kelly. I want to spend time with my boys, and the grandkids, and my mom and dad, and Kelly's mom and dad. I want to spend some time. We want to do some traveling, and it's just time. It's time to step away and time to let the program continue in the right direction under somebody else's care.
There's a lot of people that when the announcement came out said, "I knew it, I knew it, I knew it," but they might have speculated it, but they didn't because you didn't know it. I guess there's a lot of people that want to know how truly challenging was this decision for you? What did you battle with?
Oh, it was really challenging. I mean, when you do something for so long, and uh, all of a sudden we're doing this after December 2nd. All of a sudden there's this going on all the rest of December and all the rest of January, and then we're into February. And I was speaking February 2nd, which is 2 months after,
Hmm.
after the actual day, and it just it was just it was just time. I mean, I don't. It was a tough decision, and we, like I said, Kelly and I didn't even start talking about it until um, maybe the week before I announced it. I mean,
Wow.
when we hadn't talked about it. I mean, it wasn't even in my train of thought. We were already preparing for Springfield because that's important.
It's
You
a
got
big game.
Springfield. It is a big game, and that's what we do. I mean, the problem with coaching, unfortunately, and all the coaches will tell you this. You know, you win on Friday night. Well, on Saturday, there's no time to celebrate. It's time to get back to work because guess what? You got to start preparing for the next week. And even when the last game, and this was the first time ever you end the season up with a win, and which is pretty awesome, by the way. You end the season in a win, and but then again, you start doing this and that, and everything's going on. Well, come Monday, you start looking at Springfield again. I mean that,
That's
and
oh.
and that's what you got to do. And um, you know, because darn well they're watching the game and they're thinking about South Range. So you always got to try to keep that step ahead. And like I said, we hadn't talked about it, and all of a sudden, I said, you know what, seeing the staff the way they are and how awesome they are, it's time to let them have more control and time for them to shine a little bit more and uh, just not to let me hold them back, to let them keep on going and doing what they need to do. And um, like I said, it's going to be exciting. I mean, the next few years at South Range is going to be really exciting to watch, and it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for them, and I'm excited for the kids. And you know, even after I announced it on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was in the weight room doing what I usually do, and and that's what you do. I mean, and helping out, and but it's like I said, it was a tough decision. A lot of thought. Doesn't sound like a lot of thought, but a lot of thought. It was heavy thought going into making that decision. And like I said, I told the coaches on Thursday night and Friday morning. I went in and I was going to tell Mr. Farron and Mr. Rowan. I was going to tell them, and then and Mrs. Carlson. I was going to tell them, and then tell the kids Friday morning, all on the same day. And some of the administration was out that day, and but I told Mr. Farron, and then I went and told the kids, and then the next couple days I told the other ones because they were back in town. But telling the kids was hard. Telling the staff was a little bit harder
Yeah.
because they're family. They really are, and we have a great staff. They've been with me for a long time, and like I said, a lot of fun, and they are family. They would do anything for you, for me, for anybody, and
Mhm.
that's what makes them special.
I guess what were some of the reactions? What in your mind? What did you think the reactions were going to be, and then what were the actual reactions?
um, uh, I think the coaches were shocked because, like I said, we just got back from Columbus and nothing was said there, and we were interacting and everything else, and uh, they were a little shocked because they didn't expect it. Um, when we told my boys on Thursday and I called you on Thursday, I
Hmm.
mean, uh, they weren't surprised. They knew it was coming sooner or later, and told my parents and told them, and my dad thought, "Oh, go 2 more years." I said, "Go 2 more years." I said, "Well,
Why two more
and
years?
I don't know. um, I don't know if he wanted me to coach for 30 years instead of
Oh
or
my
whatever.
gosh!
I don't know, and because I think he knows the next couple classes are pretty good
Yeah.
too, and that it's not about that. I know somebody said, "Well, you need 2 more games to get another milestone." It's not about milestones. It's not about that kind of stuff. You know, it has nothing to do with that, and it has to do with it's just being time. And like I said, I want the program to be in good shape when I step away, and the program is in good shape. I've always said that, unless I got fired. If I got fired, then I didn't have a choice. But if I was going to step away on my own terms, I wanted everything to be in line, and luckily that's how it ended up being. So, uh, you know, things are things are weird, and it was tough. And the reactions of the kids, they were shocked. They blank look. I mean, you live for with each other for 4 years. Those seniors, and it's a special group. And like I said, they went out with a bang, and they'll always be remembered for that season, and that's special. And that's the name. The name on this last season is their name, which is what you always want. And but some of them were shocked, and some of them understand that you know it's time for my family now too, and they understand that. So because we talk a lot about family, so
Always.
yes, very important. And so they knew, the reason why wasn't because of anything else besides family. So
What are some of the? And I know this is going to be tough because you're looking 28 years in the history. What are some of the moments that you think, good, bad, and different, that you're going to remember the most? Um, have you even had a chance to kind of step back and do that yet?
I haven't. People always talk about little. There's milestones that you remember. You know, Um, you remember certain games. I remember my first game. I had to play Lisbon, and that was '95. That was their state championship run, and that was my first game, and you know, uh, we got beat, and and we we weren't. It was funny because I was talking to Gus Valentine's dad, Scott,
Hmm.
who was a junior in '95 and then a senior on that '96 team, and we talked about that when he called and said, it's just that '95 season was a rough season. We ended up 4-6, and um, lost some games that we might have been able to win. But we were in transition. There wasn't very many seniors. We were playing almost all juniors. We were preparing for the next year a little bit, but
Hmm.
it just there wasn't hardly any senior leadership there, or the seniors. There was only a couple of them anyhow, and a big we had a big junior class that year. So then the next year, we ended up undefeated and had a great year. Made it in the playoffs. Got beat by Avon, who dropped down to D5 for some odd reason, and got beat by them. And it was just uh, I always remember that. Now, even the next year after Lisbon went undefeated that season and won the state title, the next year we're playing Lisbon and walking off the field, and it was close at halftime. And I'll never forget Scott Valentine said, Gus's dad said, "Hey, coach, we got this. We got it." And some of that was just his leadership and the rest of the seniors, and we end up winning that one. Like I said, went undefeated. So you remember that, and obviously, never forget the state championship game. And but there's some big wins, and some big losses. You remember, you know, somebody always asks how many wins. You should ask me how many losses. Nobody ever asked that because I can tell you those. I almost count all 75 of
Oh
them.
my gosh.
And it's those are things that you remember. You try to forget about those, but they always come back and haunt you, and you hope you learn from them. But I haven't reflected a whole lot. I mean that's just you know I got a lot of feedback, and Kelly got a lot of feedback from a lot of people
Sure.
on the retirement, and you know what, the game's been good to me. It really has been. It it was able for me to get in contact with a lot of great people,
Hmm.
and it put a lot of people in my life, and it was good, and that's what's fun, And I'm going to miss that obviously because not just the players but the other coaches from all around the state, good people, and reaching out, and that was fun, talking to some of them. And it's good.
Who uh, who was one of the toughest coaches that you ever had to prepare for?
Uh, you know, hmm. Well, you know, you could, well, obviously Tiger. I mean,
I wanted to see if you'd say it.
obviously him. I mean, not, what a great coach and what a great program. I mean, you see, you know, we beat them and then they railroad us from then on out. So and that's just, you see what he's done with the program, and young coaches should look at that and look at what he's
Hmm.
done. You got him and Coach Cusick, years of Crestview. My goodness, talking about battles. I mean, there's
Dog fights.
dog fights really, and we've won. There's a time where we won like 8 straight, and then came back and lost 5 straight or whatever,
Oh
and then we
wow.
came back and won some more again, and then that was the end of the series. But just literally dog fights, and having to play them twice in the playoffs a few times. You beat them in the regular season, then they got to play them again in the playoffs. That's brutal. I mean, it really is. That's hard. Um, you know, you, you know, Coach Phillips. I mean, great coach, and you know, I know the other day when I was talking to him, and he talked about I'll never forget having to walk home from your place because I said if he beats us, and I'm just gonna walk home, and he walked home. He kept his word. I mean, kept his word, and the the next year he beat us, and so there was some. And even Coach Guerrero is a great coach. He
Yep.
really is. He gets a lot out of his kids, and Coach Spate. I mean, what he's done, phenomenal coach. I mean, there's just again, there's so many. The game has been so good to me, and put me in contact with so many great coaches. Um, to be able to be part of some of those coaches, and being able to sit down in a room and talk to them, and you know, bringing Coach Tressel into my life, and just, I mean, my goodness, what he's done for me is unbelievable. And just you know, you know, just watching great coaches. And when I was talking to some kids the other day, and I said, too many times um, watching film, and there's a lot of times I watch sidelines and I watch the interaction of the kids and the coaches, and to me that's important. So when I'm watching film, who are we playing? Are we playing a bunch of individuals, or are we playing a team? Are they cheering for their uh, when the younger kids get in, or they sitting on the bench, or they cheering for those younger kids? How's their interaction with the head coach or their position coaches when they come off the field? If the coach is getting on them a little bit, do they turn around and walk away, or they sit there and take it like a man and try to get better? Um, you know, does a coach put his arm around a kid? Little things like that are just so important, and you see that in some coaches and how their interaction is, and it's hard to beat a team. We always felt that we could beat individuals, and if we're playing a team of individuals, we always have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
If we're playing a team, uh, then it becomes more difficult because we got to play more like a team than what we already are. And that's one advantage that some of the great coaches have, um, is they understand the team. You'll see Tiger interacting with his kids. You'll see Sean interacting with his kids. You'll see Coach Cusick interacting with his kid. I mean, you see that and how awesome that is. And that's why they're tough games, is because you got some great coaches, and they get the best out of their players.
Every presidency in the United States, on the way out, there's one president that'll write a note and leave it in the Oval Office for the next president. If you were to pick up that responsibility, what would you write in your note to the next head coach of the South Range Raiders football team?
I don't know. I actually thought about that. And a lot of that will be depend on um, who becomes the next head coach. There's some that I don't have to say a word to because they already know. And there's others. If they hire outside, uh, it'd be tough because they don't understand. They won't understand what South Range football is all about. Uh, that's why I hope they hire within, just because they understand um, the importance of South Range football and the South Range family, the community, and everybody else. So I'm hoping, and it would be more of a. Uh, Remember when we met? you know, Keep it about the kids. Is that's the important part. They keep it about the kids, everything will be fine. It really will be. And I'll be there. I know that there's going to be a lot of questions no matter who gets it. Uh, and I'm not going to have all the answers, but I want it to be a smooth transition, again, for the kids and the coaches, um, and I'll be there. I mean, there's some things that, like I said, things that need done, things that need changed, and uh, you know, but it's still going to be what they think is important, which is important too. As long as they keep it, like I said, keep it about the kids. South Range football will be back.
Um, I was in talking to Sarah about what we were going to talk about. It was a weird feeling because, like, you're not dead. Like you're here, you're live. But it's a weird feeling because that, I mean, I feel like it's the end of an era, right? It's the and I hope people can realize what I'm trying to mean here. But we're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you a lot, and I think the biggest thing is trying to capture what you've been able to do for me in 6 years and the company and me personally, like my family, all that stuff is the tip of the iceberg of what you've been able to do for the families as a teacher, as a coach, as you talk about these other coaches that look to you for wisdom and what you've been able to do with your program. And I'm sure Tiger speaks as highly of you as you do of him and all these other
He's a
coaches.
fellow math teacher, you know.
Well, nerds. Um, so this next question, I don't want to catch you off guard with it. How do you want Dan Yeagley to be remembered as the head football coach of the South Range Raiders? What do you want your legacy? If people are talking about you, what do you want them to say about you?
um, I don't know if I want him to talk about me. I think it's more about the program, and um, I was just I was a person to try to get all the pieces going in the right direction, and that was my job, to get the coaches in line, to get them going, uh, to let them be themselves as coaches, and I think that's why, uh, if everything gets hired within, the coaches already know how to coach. They're in charge already. Um, and that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted them to be in charge. So, it's not about me. It's not about the coaches. It's about the kids and the program. They can say that, and they can say, the wins were all good and everything else. There's more to South Range football than just the wins. Um, it's family. It's together, being together. It's playing hard for one another. It's loving the guy next to you. I mean, that's important. And it's I don't want to be, that person. Oh, I don't want the next coach to be compared to me. I don't want him. That's not what.
Good luck, by the way. Good luck.
That's not what it's about. I mean, it really isn't. It's about the next guy putting his stamp on it, uh, and like I said, we talked many times already tonight about, keeping a kid focused, keeping it about the kids and keeping it about the community, and you know people love Friday nights at South Range, and they love being there, and the people that can't, thanks to YSN, and thanks to YSN, people from all around the state of Ohio, the people that can't get out, are able to still watch the games because that's what they want to do. They still have a date for Friday night, and that's to watch South Range football. And you know, uh, some people in nursing homes, they're happy that they can watch the game because they want to be part of the whole thing, the program, and that's, like I said, it's not me. Even though there's a shirt, and there's
Oh,
all you
there's all
crazy.
kinds of stuff. And this is just the beginning. If you think that shirt is the end, it is just the
the
beginning.
it, it's like I said, the program, the game of football itself has been very good to me, and very supportive, and you know put a lot of people in my path.
Mhm.
Put you in my path,
Sure
which
did.
is fantastic. I mean, you make friends for life, and um, I don't want to be that. You know, I don't. I never wanted to be. Never intended to be. Even though stuck it out for 28 years. That's the um, longevity. You know, gives you some of that they think, but it has nothing to do with that. It just uh, it's the program and the kids. They've been fantastic, and um, I'm looking forward in this summer and on, knowing that I don't have to do some of the other jobs that I have to do, for football. Be able to watch a little bit of football. You know, my the crazy. My only request was to keep me on huddle so I could watch watch practice and watch games.
Just what you need. More huddle time.
Well, you know, uh, Kelly and I watched the game the other, so
What game?
watched the championship game
Oh
just
my
again.
gosh.
I got Coach Farron gave me a copy of the broadcast of it, so it's fun to listen to them and fun to listen to um, some of the things that they had to say, and how you know supposedly it was one versus two, and this and that and little things like that. So, it was fun. It was fun hearing we talk all the time
Sure.
and have a lot of fun, um, and some of your broadcasts, come out and some of the things that we talk about, and uh, it was funny. It was fun listening to them because I talked to them a lot
Yeah.
before the game, and hearing some of his comments about our program and our team and stuff like that, and listen to what his interpretation of what I said, totally different than what you interpreted, and and listen to his interpretation of what their coaches said, their coach said, and how it came out across in during the game, and how I chuckled a little bit. And,
It's funny to listen to other broadcasts,
it
right?
is because I'm used to you,
It's kind of it's like being right-handed and then all of a sudden you're left-handed.
right?
It's just different.
And it was, um, so I want to, I still want to be, still curious, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm excited for the program. I'm excited the direction it's going. Got some new teams on the schedule, and
Mhm.
some new things going on. And we had, according to the state, one of the toughest schedules in the whole state of Ohio last year, and I think we just upped it.
Oh,
So
mama.
we increased it a little bit there and this year, um, and it will be, but we can compete at that level.
High tide
And our
raises all
kids,
boats, right?
that's exactly right. And we're gonna, they're gonna go, and it's gonna be fun to watch. And I'm excited to watch. Um, watch on Friday nights. Am I gonna be sitting in the stands? I don't know that yet. Am I gonna be sitting with you? I don't know
You
that
got a
yet.
spot
Um,
anytime.
and it may be Kelly and I watching it on TV,
Oh
watching your
my
broadcast
gosh.
through YSN.
I'll
Uh,
get texts throughout the game.
so I don't know. And that's something, it'll be different. So
What are some traditions that you never want to see changed at South Range? I got one that's on the top of my head, and I want to see if it's the number one for you as well.
well, I got two. Um, One is just keep the helmets plain.
I knew it. I knew it.
But you know, it, I almost.
Okay, this is good. I am.
This is good. You know what? I saw a helmet that had it was like um, a flat black and had a black sticker on it, a shiny black sticker. And I thought, you know what? With our flat burgundy helmets, if you put a burgundy flag on the side, that would look pretty sharp.
Mhm.
No other color. That it would just hit
No,
the,
no gold
no
SR.
gold, no gold,
Oh
just a
my.
gold flag. Maybe the SR being the matte coming through is. I thought, boy, that'd be nice, but then I thought, nah. And no single
So
digit
close.
numbers.
No single digit numbers.
And those, you know,
Tell the story about single digit numbers. Why there's none.
because it's a team, and there's no single anything when it comes to team. You don't want a single digit number. There's an 11. Because they're teamed together to make that 11. And,
Mhm.
there's you just people always want to be number one. Well, guess what? No person is number
The
one.
team.
The team is,
Yeah.
and there's if you can't get one, then you want to be two, or you want to be something like that. And I just that's something that was there long, long, long time ago. There was just no single digit numbers, and um, it's funny because when I stepped down, um, when a coach that I coached in an All-Star game with made a comment about uh, Ironton's traditions because they came out before the game. There a
Wow.
lot of stuff about all their traditions about the tank and their stadium
Wristbands.
and
Yeah.
wristbands and the stripes and
Stripes. Yeah.
all this stuff and our kids were getting upset about that. And I always said, you know what, traditions don't need to be said. You don't need to talk about your traditions. I mean, those are amongst us
Yep.
and the years past. Every player knows,
Yep.
and they may have forgotten, but every player knows, and that's just the way it is. You don't have to talk about it. And when I was coaching an All-Star game, this coach Mark Weber said something about uh, traditions. He said you won't hear South Range talk about their traditions. He said, but if you watch, you'll notice no single-digit numbers. You'll notice nothing on the helmets, no reward stickers, nothing like that. because he said it's all about the team.
Yeah, if you do that, it separates.
It does, and are you playing for that sticker? Or are you playing for the W for the team? That's who you're playing for. You're playing for the name on the front of the chest, not on the back, and that's why we don't have names on our jerseys neither.
We
But
had one.
we did. That
Where
was
did those
enough.
jerseys go, by the way?
I don't know. They were in a box for a long time. No, the kids have them.
Yeah.
They were given to the kids at the banquet.
Did you hide those
They
personally?
they were hidden in a box. I sent them out, got cleaned, got them, then put them in a box, and they stayed there.
My favorite story to this day, and you know where I'm going to go with this, was my favorite uniform that you had were the golden stripes on the
Oh,
shoulders.
yeah.
The best jerseys by far anywhere in I think the country for a high
Yeah.
school football team. Did those really get lost?
Yes,
That was a true story.
That's a true
Not that I
story.
would expect you to lie to me,
Nope.
but that's incredible, and
We-
we've never found them.
never. Somebody's wearing them, and hopefully they're winning. But those jerseys got lost. And matter of fact, we lost. Those ones got lost. The company replaced them. The numbers fell off. The gold numbers started peeling off,
Really?
and so they got replaced. And then the next ones, the numbers all cracked.
Oh my gosh.
And so I said, they said, we're not replacing. I said, yes, you are.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to have jerseys, and we wouldn't have this problem if you wouldn't have lost the first set. And finally they said, okay, we're going to tackle twill them, make them all right, and that's what we have
But
now.
they gave you like a completely different look uniform.
Yes. Well, that came down to having to go with Adidas because we have
Sure.
an Adidas contract with Adidas, and
Right.
the other ones were Rawlings, I believe.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Because
so-
the white ones are Adidas, and they have the shoulder stripes,
Right.
which are sharp.
They are sharp,
Yeah.
and we could. It's funny because the make of the jersey, some of it came down to cost and a
Sure, of
couple
course.
things there too because we weren't buying them. They were, and but they were. There's because of the make of the jersey, we couldn't do something because of that,
Got
so
it.
we had to do that. But on the white ones, we could.
Yeah,
So
sharp. Like the
yeah.
white ones are awesome.
and the plain burgundy pants are sharp too.
You love anything plain.
The gold pants are nice too.
Do you take anything in your coffee?
Just a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
Because I usually drink it all day, or
I was gonna say.
so it gets cold, so take the bitterness off. Black.
Incredible. And
I don't even drink ice in my water. So
you don't?
no.
That's true.
No.
Kelly validates right there. That's
No.
incredible. Why? Just because?
Just plain. Plain Jane, I guess.
We're like the odd couple. You realize that?
Yeah, I don't have a YSN truck. That's awesome, by the way.
Oh, man.
You
Yeah, I mean,
How awesome is,
so for you.
You got to
I-
give a shout out to Toyota for that. I mean,
Oh,
that's just-
Toyota Warren? Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Oh, my
Tino
goodness.
Merlo did a great job and really hooked us up and is taking care of us. But, that's one of the one things I wanted to ask you. You, as everybody I think in the world knows, you were the original guy that we come to, or came to, and we say, Coach, we'd love to meet with you, and here's an idea for you from that standpoint. Everybody knows the rest of the story. What has it been like for you to see this and know that you are, and you're going to be modest, I know, but you have been such a huge part of this on so many different levels. To be able to sit in that coach's office the first day, and I'm terrified of what you're going to say, yes, no, and indifferent, and then see where kind of this thing is taken off, and not for me, for the kids, for the communities, to be able to go to Legends each and every week
how awesome
and
is that?
watch it grow and grow and
Yeah.
grow, as much as we did all the way through week 16, and then some. What has it been like for you to kind of be on this ride as someone who's not you're not YSN, you're not paid by YSN, you're nothing like that, but you are as invested as anybody in the company, myself included.
When we sat down and talked, I can't believe it's been 6 years ago. Time flies, it was something that I saw that you presented that fit the needs of some of the kids and some of the kids' parents and some of the South Range community. You know, I yeah, everybody said, "Oh, you're gonna take money out of the stands. You're gonna do this and that." You know, people are still gonna come to the games, and people are gonna go there. The problem is, some people can't. And I saw, um, first of all, I saw the goodness in your heart and how how I can't think of the right word, how um, sincere you are, and how uh, you had a plan, you had a vision of where it's going and what can be done, and and you did it. And I, like I said, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten comments about people watching games because you made it available to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to see it. Um, from all over, like I said, Marty Vota, that's in a nursing home, was able to watch the games. Who used to always come to the games, and all of a sudden, she's not able to anymore. My parents sometimes just not having a good day, still able to watch games and watch girls basketball games, watch my niece Olivia play, and just there's so many things, and over and over and over again. Family in California that's able to watch games. People in Wyoming, past players that played with me when I was at South Range and able to watch games. It's just you gave.
We, by the way, no single digits here either.
YSN gave that ability, and then for people to still be part of the program, even though they aren't able to be part of the program, and that's huge. And um, how many times where you're meeting with kids and talking to kids, and all of a sudden, you got grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and family able to sit there and watch that. That's so special. Um, you know, able to talk to all the, we had 20 seniors, and you got them all in and multiple times and able to talk to them. And Legends was huge, and how you set that up and got that going, and how awesome it was to have that meeting place. But even through COVID, I mean, when COVID got crazy, and um, people were afraid to go to games or uncomfortable going to games, you still made that available. And not just South Range. I mean, my goodness, I don't even know how many schools you have now. I mean, it's crazy. You got the 440 group up
Yeah.
north, and all of a sudden you got Orange clear up in Cleveland, and you got all these schools that just picked up Hoban, which is fantastic. I mean, you're getting these schools, and it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter how you know what their records are. You still make it special for the kids, and I thank you so much uh, for coming up with this idea and marketing it. And um, it was easy for me to say yes, uh, but there's still protocol. I had to go through the athletic director, still had to go through Mr. Dunham, and able to talk to them about my vision, your vision, and how I thought it could help
Sure.
everybody. And they bought into it and they said yes. But what you've done is totally amazing, and I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I can't thank you enough for having this dream, and what you've done now is just unbelievable. And you know, and even put it on a different stage with the problems with East Palestine right now, and being able to use your platform to help them is even more amazing, because I know that hits home, with you and your family, and you know, Coach Foster on our staff, and his family, and it just, I mean, what you do, and you have such a big heart, and I can't thank you enough, for all you've done for me, for South Range, and for uh, everybody and everybody, thousands and thousands of people. And thank you, thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank
All right.
you.
Enough of that. Last question that I have for you. What is it? August. When's the first game? August.
I don't know. I just did the schedule. I just
Late August. We'll say
no,
late August.
it's early August actually
Early
because
August.
we
That's
got a
right.
scrimmage on the. It's early this year. It's like the 18th or something like that. You know,
So
at Springfield,
what's gonna
new
go?
stadium.
What's gonna go through your mind? Like what are you
I
what are you
told Sean, I hope
expecting?
their field's not done. They come over to our place and play. So he didn't like that. I don't understand. He said he'd run like Poland or someplace like that. Why? You know,
What's gonna go through? I mean, like, what do you anticipate? Because I guess it's hard to guess what you're gonna feel, the emotions of it. What do you think you're gonna feel like when that first Friday night comes around and
I don't know. Um, Excitement. There's going to be a lot of excitement for the new staff. You know the staff, the new players. The you know we lost a lot of players, a lot of positions. So there's going to be a lot of new people and a lot of new positions. My excitement for them because I still know them all. I mean
Mhm.
that's going to be the tough one. And I'm going to be excited for them. Looking forward to watching them play in some form, whether it's through YSN if I feel like I can't go sit and watch, or we're at the game or in the end zone or wherever I am. There's going to be a lot of excitement. I'm happy. Um, like I said, a lot of excitement, and there's going to be when you do something for so long, a little bit of emptiness, I guess you can say. But luckily I have Kelly. I have my family, and that's she's over there laughing. you know, there's going to be we might not even be in the state of Ohio come that first game. I mean, we may be somewhere
Yeah, you
else.
said you want to travel. Where do you
We
want to go?
everywhere. uh, Sooner or later, we're going to end up in California because Kelly's sister's there, and we're
Nice.
going to end up there. Uh, We've got some family in Arizona. We've got family in Colorado. We got family in Minnesota. We got family all over. And you know, if hopefully, we plan on doing some traveling, getting
Good.
away, and just having some we time between
Deserved.
Kelly and I. And it's hard because coaches don't. Some people don't realize, you know, we start in June. I mean, June 1st we were starting. Now with the new rules, it's May 15th.
Yeah.
May 15th, you can start, you know, getting more serious about football, and I think that's their way of throwing a little bone towards spring ball at us. Hopefully, you know, hopefully the coaches in the state of Ohio understand that. Guess what? There's baseball players and there's track people,
Yes.
and let them do that. We got a lot of baseball players, and we want them to do that. We got a lot of track kids. We want them to do that. We want them to be involved. So hopefully, everybody in the state of Ohio lets their kids be kids. And but come that first Friday, I don't know. Um, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know. And I'm not going to pay to go to Springfield. That's no.
I'll give you a press pass.
No.
Can you imagine that you walk in with a press pass?
I,
Oh my goodness.
I can't even remember the last time I paid to go to a game. Just
How much to get a ticket to a game?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
And
It's gonna be like that spot in Rookie of the Year where he asked for a hot dog. It's $10. $10 for a hot dog.
oh, I don't know, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Probably.
That's just um, I'm going to try and we talked, Kelly and I talked about this. I said I got to get through June and July
Mhm.
and August first before I even worry about the games, and because it's going to be different. And I know that there's um, we spent, even last year, we parked our camper in a campground, and, I traveled back and forth sometimes to practice from the campground, and looking to spend some more time there, looking forward to doing some fishing, and, looking forward, like I said, to spend some time with my grandkids, there for 16 plus weeks, I didn't get to see them at all, basically. So, ran into him at church on Sunday, so, which is always good. I mean, those are always good things. But I want to spend time with my family. I know that coaches always talk about that. I'm getting out because I want to spend time with my family. Well, I really do.
Mhm.
And after all those years, 39 years, being involved with football and going through that. It's time to spend some time with my family and love my life. Spend time with Kelly.
They've shared you long enough, Coach. Now it's their time, and I can't thank them enough, and I can't thank you enough for changing my life forever,
Oh my goodness!
forever, and in
Like I
more
said,
ways than one.
look at the lives you changed. Just being able to get uh, because our product is the same as your product. It's kids. Being able to promote that product and get them out there. I loved. I listen. Your Power Hour now. I listen to it and I don't always comment. And we sit here and while doing something to have it on. And even during the summer, I really, really loved watching you interview those little kids, the little baseball players and stuff like that. And how awesome is that? They get to actually. I mean, it's hard enough to get high school kids sometimes to talk, and coaches is sometimes even
Yeah,
talk. And it was just so awesome what you do. And again, I can't thank you for all you've done. And I'm gonna miss this time.
I'm gonna miss this immensely. Like again,
You know,
yeah,
because it was more than once a week. I mean, during games, during after games, uh, lots of text messages, lots of phone calls, lots of Zoom calls, lots of everything over the last 6 years. And
that won't change.
no,
That
it,
won't
it
change.
won't. No,
This stuff
friends,
changes. We
friend,
just don't have to wear the headsets
yeah,
anymore.
friends for life.
Always, Coach.
And thank
Thank
you.
you. I love you.
Love you too.
You're the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it. That's the last coach's corner for Coach Yeagley. And from now on, he'll be a member of YSN the next
Oh
time
no.
you see him. We love him. We hope
Oh,
you
love
do
you guys.
too. And please, 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 if you have a chance, he's always approachable. Send comments on this because I'm sure he would love to read them from anywhere you are in the country, whether you were a student of his, whether you were a teammate, whether you were a player of his. I'm sure he'd love to read it. So, Coach,
Well, and I, like I said, it won't be the last time. We'll be around.
oh
And
yeah, you
looking
breaking down
forward
X
to
and
it.
O's.
And and I one last time, go Raiders.
Go Raiders. All right, in three, two, one. Hi, everybody. Welcome in again. And I always say it's a very special edition of